going on, guys? We are live. It is Saturday, so this live stream was pretty last minute. I was up in the air. Do I stream? Do I not stream? Do I feel good enough to stream? And I decided, all right, let's stream. And then when I set it all up, everything went to hell. My mic didn't want to work. I was having issues. So now we're like super late here. But yeah, so yeah, crazy stuff here. So yeah, I haven't streamed for a couple weeks. I apologize for that. But I don't know. I've been feeling really weird. I have no idea what's kind of going on. I get like anxiety out of nowhere and then panic attacks. And like sometimes my hand goes numb. And it's been really weird and rough the past little bit here. So anyway, we're live today. We're just going to do a nice, easy, try not to talk too much. That's why I've been actually streaming on the gaming channel lately, because then you kind of play games. You don't have to talk too much, and you just kind of, oh yeah, what's going on? Acknowledge the chat, play on some more, get killed, respawn, things like that. But yeah, what's going on? How you guys doing? What's everyone up to lately? I see, the one and only Budweiser in the house. He's not at work for once, so that's awesome. Bits please. YouTube, I'll take second place. We got Squirrel Master, Keith Henninger, Jimmy G, what is happening? Jock McMiner UK, OMG is streamed. Nice. Yeah, I know it's been a while, huh? Angelino Cervantes, Travelers Travels, is that working this time? Craziness. Frank B. Zagatti, what is happening? What is Bits please is saying, I'm here to take notes on streaming in case I get the courage to start one day. Hey, give it a shot. See how you like it. The first couple might be a little rough, figuring out, depending what you use, whether it's OBS or Streamlabs or whatever. And then, just trying to get the right scenes all set up for, your imaging and stuff like that. It'll be a little rough at first, but just play around. If you don't take the first step, you'll never get used to it type of thing. So you got to do it. Your health is more important than a stream. Thank you very much. Hi all. We got Son of a Rabid Panda. And can you go over restoring Zeph GUI wallet with the new CLI wallet? There's a new CLI wallet. I don't know. I don't have the CLI wallet. Well, I do have the CLI wallet installed. I haven't really ran through it, but it should just be importing it through your seed phrase, and then it should just, it should all run. Now, some CLI wallets versus GUI wallets are kind of weird, where some have like 12 or 13 words and other ones have 15, so they don't match up. Some use 12, some use 24. Zeph, I think they use the proper amount of words on both of them, so any should work. Even your web wallet, you should be able to restore on it from any of the other wallets, but all just comes down to importing that seed phrase. What do we got? He need the key file or seed phrase to work. Yeah. Well, I think Zeph, you need the seed phrase. I don't know. Does Zeph have a key file? I'm not sure if there's a file for that. It's more of the core type of wallets, or you got something like, what is it? What else uses the vault file? That's Cubic. Cubic has that vault file thing. I forgot about that, but they got that weird thing happening as well. It's the only wallet with new update. Can't figure out how to restore. Just create new. Interesting. I don't know. I haven't looked at the brand new one then, so I'm gonna actually have to look at that and see. There should be some type of like option, like one. It should say 1, 2, 3. 1 is this, 2 is that. There should be a restore option available in the CLI wallet that requires a seed. I have the seed and key, but can't get to where it is. Even give the option to restore. Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't looked at it, so I'm not 100% sure. And then I guess I can't. I'd have to sync the chain and all this stuff right now, so I don't think I'd be able to do it right now. Do you use Cubic? Not at the moment. I sold most of mine when it was pretty high back in whenever it was like making mad amounts of money. Let's take a look at that. Coming to Cubic here. Go back and look at so I sold mine when it was like really high in price up in this area. Now it's way down here, but obviously even down in here it's still paying decent amount to miners. I'll probably be doing a lot more Cubic moving forward. I don't know when the fork is coming. It sounds like it could be as early as Wednesday, so the next epoch, but it might still be a week or two after that. But when they do decide to go to straight CPUs, which I kind of looked at that in the video there the other day. Which one is it? This one? Yeah, this one right here. Major profit switch about to happen. Be ready or fall behind. that's going to be an interesting one because allegedly, if Cubic implements, 2x the hash rate over GPUs or something, something major to make CPU mining the best way to mine Cubic. And on top, they're going to be doing the Monero plus Tari mining. We could see some pretty great profits happening on CPU. So I'm definitely watching to see what's going to happen with that and when it's going to happen. So it could be as early as Wednesday coming up. It might be another week or two. We'll see what happens. But paying attention to that, I got to get my rigs ready to roll and moved because I have everything actually shut off right now. My entire farm is off. Panda's supposed to be here, I do believe, this weekend coming up, Saturday, I believe, Friday or Saturday, and he's gonna be picking up those CPUs and stuff. So those are gonna be gone. But I'm trying to get everything out to the garage. One, get everything cleaned off for Panda, obviously, and it'll be nice and easy for him to grab coming straight out of the garage instead of going through the house. Even though he might want to make, a little video in the basement here as well, so that'll still be an option. But just to get everything loaded up and stuff, get everything in the garage there on racks and stuff. I want to move the farm over there. I got a whole bunch of cables. Feel like I'm rewiring my whole farm again. I got so many different things happening. But yeah, I got a junction box on the way. Thanks to somebody who gave me that tip. I was originally gonna have to buy like 400 or was it? That's 100. So like 400 meters of electrical wire, which is gonna be very expensive, and rerun my entire breakers all over again. And then someone in the comment section, when I said that video about changing my farm around, move it to the garage there. He mentioned just get a junction box, which that's the point of them, to extend circuits. So I'll just put a junction box kind of where my plugs are right now, and I'll just go through the wall behind it straight into the garage, and that'll be much easier. At this point, I only have to get an extra 100 meters of cable instead of 400 meters. So it's going to be $200 instead of like $1,000 to do this movement over there. So that definitely saving a crap ton of money. So junction box supposed to be here. Some splitters and stuff is going to be here. And then the speaker cable, I don't know, it's going to be here in a week or two. But for the most part, I want to have everything out there ready to go so I can just hook up the power, fire things up, and roll. What do we got here? You buy a 9654 yet after selling all those CPU rigs? No, I have not. And, I still can't afford hardware with that because I still got a lot of other things going on, like dentist bills, and I have no money for rigs. I really wish I could. I'm falling so behind. The YouTube channel is not paying anything like it used to be. So I am falling behind on everything, and really, I'm also kind of running out of crypto here because I literally been living off all my coins for a while now, and things are getting pretty bad. Things are getting pretty rough at the moment. What do we got here? Maybe it will give me more options once Damon is fully synced. Possible, it's possible, but you should still have the options even though it's not. But yeah, give it a shot and see what happens there. What do we got here? Squirrel Master, what do we got? Oh, I didn't even do the thing.
Run Putz is in the house. Didn't say anything but nuclear power plant mining. Run Putz.
Yeah, awesome. We got right. He has been a member for 40 months of the Alpha Pack. That's another thing we noticed too, though. We used to have all these green chats in here. The market's down. I think everybody's broke. We have no members anymore, other than obviously the super faithful we got here. Much appreciated. Rud Putz, there's a pirate. Fudweiser, all you guys are absolutely awesome. Northern Crypto, what do we got? Hey, Rud. What else? We got 100 meters of your wife's. What is that? Smoothly adjusted. Easy. Squirrel Mask, Dom G, pinning the beers. Yeah, awesome. What else do we have going on? The markets are rough right now. If we go into the old watch list here, see what's happening in the old market situation. We have a lot of red going down. Bitcoin's down to 104. It's crazy. 2017, I feel, was a huge talking point for Bitcoin. 2021 was obviously a massive talking point for miners, as that's when Ethereum exploded and mining profits was huge. 2025 now is just is crypto still a thing? That's almost what it feels like. Is crypto still a thing? Bitcoin's hitting all-time highs and nobody cares. It's pretty crazy. And if you really think about it, like 2017, I feel Bitcoin had way more hype when it went from like 1,000 to 17,000. But that's the other thing too. As each cycle goes by, the gains on Bitcoin is less and less. The price is getting a lot higher, but the gains from cycle to cycle is less each time. So obviously 2017, the gains were huge compared to 2021, and in 2021, the gains were a lot bigger compared to this year, and this year, and it's going to keep being like an evolution thing. Yeah, eventually, the gains aren't going to be that much, but we're going to see some huge price rise. Like Bitcoin could hit $500,000 in the next couple cycles, and people aren't really going to care, and the gains aren't really going to be that high as those cycles continue to go on. So it's crazy, absolutely crazy how everything is playing out right now. When Rabid mining Tangem, sadly, Jock McMiner, those got canceled. Yeah, everyone should be getting emails that pre-ordered. I had 5 or 6 of them pre-ordered. I didn't get an email yet though, and they didn't ask me about them. But yeah, so we didn't hit enough orders. So they needed 1,000 cards, and they said it's been like 6 months or a year or something since that started. And they've been saying, all right, this is probably never going to happen. Market's in turmoil. Everyone has Tangem wallets, blah, 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 blah. And we might not make it. So we had to cancel that. I think it was last week, and that sucks. So that means, we needed 350 orders of 3 cards to make, about 1,000, 1,040, whatever it is. Of the things. Didn't make the cut for the cards to print those. We could try a different option, but it won't be a great design like that. It's just like a symbol or something on the solid black stealth card. Then you only have to sell like 5 or something. But I don't like that way. I like the nice design we came up with. Maybe I was too picky and I waited too long, and obviously it got released after the whole hype train was over with Tangem and stuff. So we may have missed the boat there, but I didn't want to just throw it out there with a symbol and call it good. I wanted a nice card, but no one at that point wanted Tangem cards anymore. So sadly, yeah. So final result, Rabid Tangems are canceled for now. They said maybe we can attempt to do it again in the future, but yeah, right now it looks like we're not going to get them. Sad times, sad times. Everyone, yeah, Jock McMiner, everyone should be getting emails on what to do with those momentarily. So check your inboxes and everything. And if not, email, send Tangem support on email or something asking, yo, I heard they're canceled, whatever, say something. But they told me that they're going to be sending out everyone who did their pre-orders, they're going to send out emails with them with options of what to do and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's the latest that they told me. Custom Tangem sticker. Hand out stickers to everybody to slap on a normal Tangem card. When Rabid coin, I don't know. Doing coins is kind of, I don't know. When Rabid rug pull? No, I'm just kidding. Rug pull coin? No, I don't know. Doing coins is, I don't know. It's not my alley. I don't really know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe, but we don't know. But anyway, like looking at the markets, things are a little bit in shambles and rough right now. Obviously, most of it's about Israel and all that. We got Cedric coin, though. It's up 30%. So that's not bad. If you bought Cedric coin, 7 days ago, you're probably doing pretty. Actually, you're only doing 16%. So if you did it 24 hours ago, I guess you're up 30. QRL is up 11%, 16 in the past 7 days. But sadly, QRL, I do believe this is moving to proof of stake, which sucks. Zeph is, bouncing up. It's over $1 now. And remember, when this was only you guys remember this was 45 cents or something? Oh, Zeph is dead. It's done. Don't stop mining it. I mean, stop mining it. And I was saying, reset, guys. Start mining Zeph at 45 cents because this could easily double, triple, quadruple. I still think Zeph could easily go to $5 again. Plus, but at that time, if Zeph was making, I don't even know what it was, 60 cents. So right now, if you're mining, then you're already making over $1 from last month when it was under 50 cents and stuff. So there's huge profits to be had just because, a coin looks dumb or sucks. Hash rate falls off of something. Look at the hash rate, look at the yields, and then decide, what kind of coin is this? I do think Zeph possibly has a huge chance to make a comeback, and this could be a major awesome play moving forward. But again, we don't know. It could also be a huge flop and end up turning nothing. That's the gamble we're in right now. But, you know, it's a gamble I'm willing to take, is trying to get my hands on more Zeph before everything is back in and implementing again. We got Kylo coin here. It's, you know, remember, this used to be over $2,000 at one point. That was insane. 394 here. It doesn't even go back far enough on this. We got Budweiser, member for 44 months. That is insane. Awesome, awesome. Flexing that run putts. Raven is going up again. Raven is? Is it for real? Nice. Let's take a look at that. Raven's doing some more moves. Boom. 27 days. Go on. Let's do the 1 dayer. Well, it's down now, but yeah, like, where did it peak at here? 2.2 cents. 2.3, and then we'll see. Hopefully, because remember, guys, like, look what it did back here. Wow, that was in February. February is when Ravencoin spiked in 2021. That is insane. It was so early into that run, and it hit 22 cents. Craziness. There's one thing I want to look at. Yeah. Where's Twitter? Let's look at, where is it? Where's Layla Mining? You know, as we know, they are huge Bitcoin supporters. They're 100%, or Bitmain, not Bitcoin, but yeah, Bitcoin also. But they've been posting a lot about Ravencoin lately. Fear the Raven. Bitmain offers. Okay, yeah, there's so much stuff here. Spot sales, app miner, happy cares. Ravencoin posting the prices about Ravencoin a lot lately. So, you know, we've heard the rumors. They are coming. It's going to be interesting. But obviously, you know, these are already the hints, especially coming in from Layla Mining here about Raven. The Bitmain Raven miner is coming. Whether you deny it or not, the algorithm, it is coming. Now, whether it's a full-fledged ASIC, that's going to be up in the air. I don't think it's not going to have massive efficiencies like we've seen on something like Bitcoin or Kaspa when ASICs came in over that. But it might be something closer to the X5 on Monero, where it's going to be probably potentially, depending how it does. But if we look at the X5 right now, it is cheaper and as an efficient, maybe slightly more efficient than building, you know, top CPU rigs for Monero, you know, 7950X rigs. That's how great the X5 is. So this may end up being a nice, efficient, low-cost machine over buying GPUs, but you may only be limited to Ravencoin or maybe all the other Kapow coins. It's hard to say. As we know, the X5 was limited to only certain random X coins, not all of them. So it's still up in the air on how this miner is going to be, but I do believe it is coming. It's probably a year or so out, but it is coming. So be very, you know, be mindful that something like this is coming for Ravencoin. And depending on who gets it, we could see ultimately large farms, because there's this so-called ASIC. It might end up, you know, becoming overrun with hash rate, where normal standard GPU miners paying residential fees will not be able to mine that anymore. And in theory, Ravencoin is the largest GPU coin out there. Tari is kind of taking that spot over right now. It will take over that spot once the fork comes for SHA-3X to put on the Cuckoo 29 or whatever. But ultimately, how well will Tari continue to run moving forward will determine how well that continues on for the GPUs. But right now, Ravencoin is one of the top coins for GPUs, and you know, GPUs may lose that. The other thing we got to keep in mind is the Cubic. There's a lot of GPUs on freaking Cubic, and eventually that's going to disappear as well. Like, let's take a look at, well, it was all in that video right here where we saw the lump sums of everything. Let's just bring this up and actually look at, where was it? Oh, is it in our, yeah, right here. So we kind of looked at this in that video. Let's just kind of run through it one more time right quick again. If we can see anything. Oh, no, it's game capture. Where is it? Oh, man, all my things are messed up. Okay, you can kind of see it here, I guess. But yeah, so here's GPUs currently right now based on about 100,000 emissions on Cubic. I think it is around there, but it's really hard to tell. But you know, with no cubic, GPUs have about 272K based on MineSum's chart. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the chart I am telling you guys about, it is this one right here. Let's just see if I can find it again. Who's that? What is that? Don't you own any? That's the CPU one. MineSum put together for us also out. But this is the GPU one. This is the chart that he's slapped together. We're gonna put it on here, and you can see, you know, we got cubic here. We got Tari's doing great, but we're gonna take this one out. So we added up pretty much all of these together, and that's where we got these numbers here. Now, obviously, there's still a lot more coins out there, but there's a crap ton of hardware, and the emissions on a lot of the other coins are only like $500 a day, 600. You know, not very much. You know, some are only $30 a day. It's not going to make it worthwhile to even add those onto the chart per se. But you know, without cubic, that's $272,000, and with cubic, it's sitting at about 372K right now. Now, if we look at Monero and Tari alone, that's $208,000. Now, this is on one chain for CPUs. Now, there's also way less CPUs out there versus the GPUs that are mining. So there's less competition. So now you have a massive amount of emissions on a small, you know, on this type of small chain. This is theory. These two together is a small chain compared to, you know, something like Ethereum. All these are small compared to something like Ethereum. But so you also have to remember, Cubic also mines with idle fee. So half time is mining Cubic, half the time is mining something else. So you're only going to get about 104,000 coming out of this. But you add those together, you're going to be getting about 200,000 on one single chain, which is absolutely insane. And all this money will be coming off. $100,000 will be dropping off Cubic. So now you're going to have GPUs looking for another home, increasing more hash rates on Ravencoin and other things. You got possible Bitmain ASICs coming to Ravencoin and stuff, making even more hash rate higher, making even more GPUs, looking for more homes, spreading hash rate across more coins, reducing further profits all across the board. And meanwhile, you have, you know, this potential huge money grab coming in where CPUs could be making $3 to $8 a day on a single 7000 series, depending on the price and how many come in. Now, obviously, if this begins to happen, we're going to see a massive surge in people buying CPU mining rigs because the profits are there. And obviously, what happens is then network hash rates pick up, difficulty increases, and profits drop. CPUs also kind of have an advantage, is even in that video when I released that, the argument is still strong that people will not buy CPU mining rigs for the reason of scalability. It is a lot harder to scale CPU mining rigs. So this is the video I was talking about right here. Because, well, they take up so much room. Sure, you got those from TrueFab there where I got my double stacking rigs where, you know, you fit 2 rigs on one, you stack it up, you got 4 rigs there, and you stack it up, you can got 6 rigs. You know, you can stack them up on top of each other. But a lot of people don't want to build them because, you know, you're buying the RAM, you're buying this, you're buying the CPUs. And, you know, they're just looking at everything as a whole and saying it's too much work and it costs too much. But if you really, like, I shouldn't be saying this, but the reality is, you know, if you're lazy, you're not going to make any money. That's number one. Number two is if you really broke down the prices, building a CPU mining rig that's decent is about the same amount cost of a GPU. Now, the scaling, like a 5070, 5080 or something. But the thing is, the CPU is still making quite a bit more. And if this cubic thing happens, Tari remains decent. XMR will be dying here soon. That's just the way the cycle works, but it's still doing decent. If CPUs continue to make all this money, you know, people are going to want to come into it, and it's going to be way worthwhile over, you know, the scalability in that, because you're making 10 times more than a GPU. So who cares about scaling GPUs if they're not making anything in the first place? So that's kind of where I'm coming into this, but it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays off, you know, moving forward. What do we got here? Yuck. In addition to your health. What do we got? I'm okay. I had a bad water break inside and it just got done. Oh no, Retro Mike, that sucks. That's horrible. I think all altcoins should go to CPU dark side. That'd be insane. No, well, it's hard to say. You know, they should just, no, that wouldn't work out either. That wouldn't work very well. In addition to your health, yeah, water breaks are bad. Let's just scrolling up to the live chat, see what all I missed here for the past little bit. Chalkwick Miner UK, Raven ASIC. Did I hear that right? Yes and no. I'm thinking it's going to be more like the X5. Bitmain is indeed working on a machine for Ravencoin. Yes, that is confirmed. Now, is it going to be an ASIC? Probably not, because it'll be way too hard. Now, it's possible that, but I do think they're going to come out with a decent, efficient, and probably decent priced machine, and we'll just have to see how it goes. Now, if they only have a limited number of it and it ends up like the X5, there isn't really much to worry about. But if they mass produce, like, you can't find an X5 anywhere. It's like they only made like an X amount of units and quit. I wish they'd make more of those things, because I wish I didn't sell mine either, because I want a whole bunch more, especially with this Tari thing going. But it's, you know, it's hard to say how long will this Tari thing last for. It could die, you know, tomorrow for all we know. But we'll see what happens. All right, continuing on to the chats. Oh, I split my 32 threads, got 15 each on RX unminable and 15 on SPR solo to node bridge. Interesting. I've had a Jazz miner on unminable, mining Raven for a few months, and it's been pretty sweet. Hey, that's a nice way to go about it. Power users, low power on AMD cards. On some AMD cards, like 6600 XTs, they're great. They're great Kapow cards, but you know, some it still uses quite a bit, produces quite a bit of heat. I think Tari's project plus timing was great. It definitely is great timing, but you got to remember they're in testnet also for like what 6 years plus, and then as soon as they released a mainnet that's just broken, and then they decided to like change it. Like they went on to say it's 6 years of testnet, and a lot of these things are brought to their attention about SHA-3X, you know, about ASICs, about all sorts of stuff, and then they release anyway, and then all of a sudden a week after release they decided to change everything right up. Like, you know, if they want to change it, they should just put the entire emission straight to XMR merge mining. That would be freaking amazing, because they'd have no security issues. Sure, you got a lot of botnets and everything out there, but could you imagine just full Tari, screw the 4 chains, forget GPUs, forget everything, just go straight CPUs, mix it up with Monero merge mining. Obviously, CPU mining is a set. Now, CPU mining would definitely explode, and we could possibly, like, that would be huge, and we could see a massive CPU shortage happening. That's the type of effect I think that could happen, because the profits would be massive. But you know, obviously they're not going to do that. They're doing all this other crazy stuff first. They knew, that's why they asked me to implement a hash rate limitation. They knew. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot that they asked you to do that for the pool, and then you decide, no, I'm not even running it. But yeah, they're pulling off a Dynex. There are no rules that you have to turn your GPU up to 100% to mine Raven. That's 100% true. You can definitely turn down as low as you want, and, you know, try to run it a lot more efficient. There are no rules on how to run your hardware. If you have cheap power, you can overclock the crap out of them with liquid nitrogen. Or if, you know, you have expensive power, you just want to run cooler, you could run it at 10%. Like, you know, there's no set in stone way to run your hardware. Run it the way you want to run it, and that, you know, can kind of at least keep you as close to green as possible. We'll have to jump on a chat at some point. Chadwick Racing. Did you guys also hear that stablecoins are getting their own level 1 chains? That is the weirdest thing ever. I heard Ripple XRP, there's a big thing going on with USDT is now going to be on it. And yeah, I don't know. All sorts of crazy stuff. But yeah, I don't know. The power runs pretty cool for lower core and mem. My 36 teras run mid 50s on Kapow. Nice. Good stuff there. Yeah. Also, this Rabid Gaming, guys, subscribe to this one right here. What we got? 2.26. Got any more? And no, we don't got any more. Come on, subscribe, guys. We've been playing some video games here. Dune Awakening, freaking awesome. Nothing to do with mining, but you can still talk about a little bit of mining stuff. But yeah, we've been playing this game, and it's a lot of fun. And if you like watching gaming or anything, or just want to hang out sometime, you know, just join up. And I've been live streaming that almost daily. You know. 14 hours ago, 4 days ago, 3 days ago, 6 days, I guess not daily. Oh, this one was a video. And then, yeah, the streams. But yeah, crazy stuff. It's good stuff. Also, Tame Your Dragon. Have you guys seen that yet? It just released yesterday. The action remake. I think that I'm taking the little one to that in about 3 hours today. So hopefully it'll be fun. But yeah, How to Tame Your Dragon. is now released, and she loves dragons. So obviously she's seen the cartoons, but now it's a money grab. Got to make a remake, live action, so everyone can come watch it again, and that's what we're gonna do. Hey, Rabid, just wanted to say thanks. Learning a ton from you and others on your Discord. Shout out to Keith. Nice, awesome, Russell Thatch. No problem. Here to help. Chadwick Grayson, I got offered a role change at work. Have a one-on-one with my manager on Tuesday to discuss my thoughts. That's cool. That's cool. What's the role change, I wonder? But, is it a promotion or is it still the same? But, that's awesome. Sometimes a nice little switch up is good. Going to that movie now with the kids. Are you J mining? Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to the matinee because one is 50% cheaper. But yeah, we're going to that in a couple hours here, so that'll be sweet. Hopefully it's good. Well, it should be good. We already know what happens, but what do you think about Tari for the long term? See, ZF, I'm not sure. Hopefully, we can crap talk and say how bad, Dynex is doing this. They're totally centralized. They tell you what to do, or Cubic's doing this, blah, blah. Who cares? Yeah, things are weird with some chains and stuff, but in the end of the day, we need them all to survive. Because if they don't, that's less money dishing out to miners and less, places for miners to go, less places to, spread hash rate around to even make profits. So we need them all to survive. So hopefully Tari does well. I definitely hope it does for the purpose of all hardware. Tari's is a few cases. Well, Digibyte is on everything. It's obviously not super profitable. Currently, Tari is pretty profitable, so we do need to see some nice price discovery and taken off, but it is nice that it is pretty much profitable on all hardware, which is crazy CPUs, GPUs, FPGAs right now. It'll be even more profitable for GPUs when the fork happens, and then all the GPUs come off the FPGA one, but FPGAs are going to hit huge profits. So for a little while, GPUs will have a choice of bouncing between the FPGA side and the GPU side, depending on network hash rate and difficulty, because, the FPGA side may at times be more profitable than just the GPU side because too many GPUs may hit that. So it's all about going towards where less hardware is. The same thing where on the CPU side, sometimes it is more profitable to mine straight Tari over merge mining with Monero, which is, we could take a look to see where things are sitting with that right now. Let's just bring this up. Go to full screen here. Now, I don't 100% know what the network hash rates are, so I'm just going to use the Tari Explorer, which I don't know if it's fixed or not. It was kind of off before. What is this? Tari Explorer. Tari Block Explorer. So let's just go random X hash rate 3.2. That's the Monero one. So that's merge 3.2. So it's a little lower. And then let's take a peek at the random X by itself, 1.9. 1.9. So it's up a little bit since last time I looked. And the current price of all these coins is sitting at, oh, great. Price of, Tari's on here now, isn't it? I think it's on here now. Or is it only, yeah, Minotari. So 2609. 2609. So let's put in the price. 2609. 2609. Now we got to come in and take a look at Monero. What are you looking at? We're at 5.38. 5 points. So that's up a bit. And the price is $310. Monero continuing to drop. See, I sold my Monero at $406, I think it was, and haven't looked back because, like I said, you see your coin pumping at push past 400. It might go to 450. It's hard to say, but I really think Monero is done for the cycle now. It's just the way it works. That's an altcoin. You see a pump, take your profits. Like, here we go. Look at the 1 year here. Bam, shot up. Where'd it go? It went to 417. And look at the past ones. It shot up, peaked at 470, done. Peaked at 417. What was that? 2021, 417. 417.71. So it broke. Did it break last season's? Oh, just it was shy by like, I don't know, 15 cents or 10, 12 cents or something. But it pretty much did 417 again. So we matched that. So I think it's over, you know, taking your profits now. Like I said, you got to sell on the way up. I sold pretty close to the top, I think, at 406. And, you know, it peaked at 417 or so. So remember, you got to get your volume on the way up, because once it peaks, there's no more volume to sell here. It's going down at that point. And I do really believe Monero peak. We know we might see some ups, like as you can see here, down, up, down, up. We're going to see some more up. Maybe it goes back to 350, 380, but I really don't know if it's going to see past 400 again. I really feel Monero is over with at this point in terms of, you know, exploding. Now's the time where you just keep mining it, selling it, converting to Bitcoin or whatever like that. But, you know, you're pulling your profits out daily if that's what you're mining right now. But anyway, continuing on here now, kind of taking a look at a 7950X3D or 7950X for that matter. Mining Tari alone is about 75 cents a day right now. And it looks like merge mining's at 99. So about $1. That's before power cost. So looks like merge mining is the better option right now. But remember, that's if you're selling and everything right now at this very second. But about 99 cents a day is what the merge mining is making, while single Tari on a CPU is at about 75 cents. So that's where we're pretty much sitting at this time. Actually, it's going to be a little bit more because that's based on the 25% emissions, and actually you're getting 33% emissions. So you're getting a little more Tari than what's being showcased there. G1 minis rule, they never learn. Fish hash. Yeah, grin on. I've never had a grin miner, and I've heard a lot of people doing pretty good with those. I wish I should get one. Yeah, XMR looks like it had its alt season. Yeah, I do believe. I think XMR hit its peak, and it did what it's supposed to, what it always does. Like, it was right in front of us the whole time. It did its run, and now it's come back. It's gonna do it again in 4 more years. But you know, now's the time where you just mine the crap out of it and keep selling it, keep selling it, keep selling it. You know, dumping into Bitcoin or whatever. Because in theory, Bitcoin's run to the all-time high is going to be the end of the year, October and November or so. So just pull it out, throw it all in Bitcoin, wait for that run and pull it all out, and then wait a year and then either buy back into Bitcoin or you spend it all on whatever and you start your whole cycle from scratch again, or, you know, whatever you got to do at that point. But that's pretty much, you know, what's happening. The coins are peaking. You got to be selling. XTM will be listed on CoinX starting June 16th. RIP X Bitron. That'll be interesting. Hopefully it makes a comeback. That'd be really nice if it does make a comeback for sure. It sucks I can't use CoinX, but we'll see what happens there. But yeah, XBitron, they hurt Tari a lot. A lot. Like all those fake coins that got sold, and yeah, it destroyed it. Did you review the Apollo V2H? I think so. Yeah, I got the smaller one. I got the smaller Apollo. Let me just see here. Let me just find out where. Come into here. If you're looking for any of these freaking crazy, insane miners, here's a link to all of these. But where is Apollo? Right here. So Apollo. Yes, continue destination. V2H. This is. No, I don't have this one. I have the other one. I have this. I have the V2X. I do not have a V2H, but it's freaking awesome. I have the V2X, and this thing is pretty sweet. Like, look at this thing. Like, what is it? 1.2 gigahash at like no power. 165 watts for 1.2 gigahash. Like, insane. This thing is awesome. And obviously, this one is even better. I want one of these. Well, what's this? The high one. 3700, 3.8. What are the details on this? Okay, 3.4 to 3.8 at, where's the power? 475 watts. That is insane. That's beating Jazz Miner. It's not beating the new ones, the X44s, whenever they released. But Apollo made a really nice miner here. This destroys Bitmain's E11, obviously, but Like insane. This thing is 475 watts for 3.4 gigahash. Imagine if this was around in Ethereum days. That'd be insane. You remember what was that? What was that? The A10 plus. What was that? Like 504 megahash. Maybe the plus was 700, but 700 megahash at like 2,000 watts or something, and that was like amazing at the time. And now we got 3.4 gigahash at freaking 475 watts. Like absolutely insane. This thing would have been making like, you know what? We can look at that right now. 3.34. Let's look at what this could have been making then. GPUs. We'll go to that's 61 megahash. So what was that? 3,400. $222 a day this would have been making on Ethereum at the peak for only 400 watts. Like what? And here's when Ethereum, oh, you guys can't really see that. Sorry, I apologize. And here's where in Ethereum, just before the merge, it was only paying 21.9 million, but that is small compared to the peak here. Imagine 3,400 megahash, 3.4 gigahash. That is $87 a day for 475 watts or so. And that was just before the merge that happened. 87, that was insane. I just got to default these back in. Oh, we wish these days would come back. Wish these days would come back, but they're not. That's crazy. But yeah. So here's Ethereum just before the merge, $1.56 on a 3060 Ti. That's $1.56 before power cost. This was prime crypto mining time right there. Obviously before that, $4 a day on a 3060 Ti when it was at its peak here. At 46.35, $62.2 million being paid to miners. Insane, absolutely insane profitability from back then. And we have nothing nowhere near that to this current day. All forks of main algos are like scams, but if they merge mine, then they can exist with main coin. So yeah, that's the thing. They should just start making a crap ton of merge coins. But at the same time, those merge coins have to do something decent, because if they don't, then you're not making anything. It's just like all the merge coins we have on script right now. At first, they were absolutely amazing. Like junk coin and stuff was making an extra $12 a day because only Mining Dutch and one other pool, supported them. But then as soon as we seen, via BTC and the large pools come in, all that hash rate came in. We went from, on an L9 from $12 a day down to like 10 cents a day because that hash rate just destroyed the coin. It's not that the coin died, it's that the hash rate destroyed the emissions so bad that you weren't making anything off any of these coins anymore. So, hash rate distribution is huge, and it was amazing when script like when those coins first came out, but the large pools just crippled all those nice small merge coins. Anyway, guys, so yeah, we've been here for almost an hour. I was only going to go for about a half an hour. Oh, the hype if S said they would go PO proof of work again. Yeah, that would be insane. But I'm going to wrap this one up, guys. I do appreciate for everyone for showing up for the stream. I'll try to see if we'll be live again tomorrow or not, but we'll see what happens there. But make sure you guys do subscribe up to that gaming channel and watch some of the streams. We're growing the gaming channel also. Dune Awakening is a pretty fun game. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Rabid out.